In this video, I'm talking about Fallout 2's cut content. Some of this stuff you can see if you install Killap's Restoration Project mod. I recommend it. But while doing research, I found out some stuff I never knew before. I'm not going to cover every minor detail, just some of the stuff I think is important. I'll leave a link to where you can look at every single thing. Now let's start with an area that was thought of early in development. I say area because I can't find an official name for it. I heard the name TV Town, but I don't think it's official. In order to find more info, I had to look deep into the Fallout Bible, and I found a quote from Chris Avallone. He answered someone's question, and I'm going to read that quote now. This is from the Fallout Bible. Suicidal Bob says, I read in the back of the Fallout 2 strategy guide, the section that talks about the process the design team went through to develop the storyline and such, and it states that two storylines were thought about. One of them about an intelligent computer making a city of androids and the main character going into space. The other about the Master's army capturing mutants for slave labor. I was wondering if an actual storyline of Fallout did these happen, or were these ideas just scrapped when the storyline that was used for Fallout 2 was selected as the one to be used. They were scrapped, and they never happened in the Fallout universe. They were ideas by the original team that were tossed around before the second original team, Tim, Jason, and Leonard, began work on Fallout 2. I haven't been able to find an original copy of the original story doc, but if I do, I might print it in all its original glory. That's very interesting. So as it states, this idea was thought of early in Fallout 2's development by folks from the original Fallout team. An intelligent computer making a city of androids. I would love to see those documents or some concept art. I'm wondering if this city of androids was supposed to be the main focus of Fallout 2. Instead of the Enclave, you would fight a supercomputer with an android army. Maybe the final battle would have taken place in space or the way there. I don't know. Maybe they could have tied that in with the Hubologist in San Francisco, some sort of alliance to get to space, and the main character hijacks it. Or the chosen one, not the main character, sorry. Damn. I would love to see some concept art someday. I definitely want to see what this place would have looked like. Come on, Chris, release those documents one day. I know you can find them. Next up is Kaga, the quote-unquote true chosen one. This annoying motherfucker was supposed to be your arch nemesis. You can see what he is like if you install the restoration mod. He shows up every now and then in some random encounters and tries to kill you. Later on, he gets some new equipment and brings his friends along. This dude pops up a lot outside of San Francisco, and he loves spamming plasma grenades. I'm glad they took him out. In this state, he's just annoying as fuck. I'm assuming they didn't have enough time to flesh out the story for Kaga, or maybe they just realized he's more annoying than anything else. Seriously, this fucker spams plasma grenades out of nowhere. Fuck him, he's not the chosen one. I am, bitch. The phaser from Star Trek is cut content. It was supposed to be a weapon you would find in a special encounter, just some little goofy thing. You can use it if you install the restoration mod. Just wait until you get the last Federation special encounter and it'll be there waiting for you. It's not that bad. I found it pretty useful. It was my secondary weapon early on in the game because I got lucky and found it early. It's a good little piece of equipment, and hey, it's from Star Trek. That's pretty cool. Now let's talk about the Shi Huang Tai. I probably butchered that. If you went into the Shi faction and you spent some time with them, you find out about them being survivors from a submarine wreck and how they salvaged the metal to make their headquarters. Here's a quote from Chris Avallone taken from the Fallout Bible. What is the deal with the retinal scanner from the docks in San Francisco and all those guys blubbering about some submarine? This is Chris's response. The retinal scanner was just there for show. As for the submarine, that's a longer story. As mentioned in Fallout 2, the Shi, or more specifically Dr. Feng, say that they are descendants from the crew of a Chinese nuclear submarine, the Shi Huang Tai, the remains of which were used to help build the palace in San Francisco. This submarine was supposed to play a larger role in Fallout 2, but it was axed because the game was too big as it was. Basically, it was another stage to Get the Tanker Ready quest. Basically, there was this old Chinese submarine buried beneath in the waters of San Francisco, and if it detected any American vessel coming anywhere near it, its automated defense system would fire missiles at the vessel and would destroy it. So the intention was for you to find some deactivation code to disarm it before you could take the tanker safely to the Enclave. So this was the area you were supposed to complete before you reached the oil rig, if they would have put it in the game. You can still see it if you have the restoration mod, and there are several ways to beat this area. Its background is interesting, but the quest itself is nothing special. I think they should have kept this in the game, even if they had to rework it or not make it necessary to visit an optional place, but still, it should have been kept in there. It's an important part of the Shi's history. It feels somewhat incomplete. You learn about this faction and their history, and you hear about this mysterious submarine, but you can't get to it unless you play a mod. I don't know, I would have put it in there, but I'm not a game designer. Next piece of cut content is the primitive village. Do you remember Sullik, the companion that you find in Klamath? You can't miss him. Well, he is from a tribe called the Primitive Village. When you first enter this place, you run into Karusu, who pokes fun at you for relying on finding a magical piece of tech to save your village. And as you can tell by the name, they don't like the outside world or technology. The tribe consists of people from smaller groups that decided to band together, which means they have different philosophies, different customs, and different way of doing things all involved in this one group. Funny thing about this area, when you go into it, you'll run into a bootleg shaman. He was an underling that got promoted to being the tribe shaman even though he doesn't believe in spirits or any of that mystic stuff. He's just a bootleg shaman that stumbled into the job and regrets it. And looking back at all of this, I wish they had another 6 months or a year to work on Fallout 2 to bring these areas into the game, because it would have really added to it. I would have loved to see the conflicts between the different ideals and how the tribe stuck together through all these hardships, or maybe someone in there could have tried a hostile takeover, and it would have added more to Sullik's character and more to his sister's relationship with him. And now for the Abbey. This is a monastery. This is a quote from the Fallout Bible. I heard there was going to be a monastery area in Fallout 2, but it was not implemented in the game. It supposedly would have given the player more background information on the world of Fallout. My question, thinking about how the followers of the apocalypse kinda worship knowledge and learning a lesson out of the apocalypse, was this monastery to be the new base of the followers of the apocalypse? This is Chris's response. I don't know, I haven't been able to find any documentation on it, but I don't think so. From what I heard secondhand about the story and the original locations in Fallout 2, the monks at the Abbey were interested in preserving knowledge, but they were not part of the followers of the apocalypse, though their ideals might have been quite similar. I sent off an email to Tim Kaine and he might know, so stay tuned. And here's me a short while later with an answer from Tim Kaine. The Abbey did not have the followers there. It was supposed to be an independent organization, probably of Jesuits or something like them. I'd probably go with the latter to avoid right-wing complaints. The monks preserved knowledge in the form of books, blueprints, and items, and they tried to preserve technical knowledge mainly. Unlike the Brotherhood of Steel, who hoarded their technology and used it to stay superior, the Abbey was open to anyone as long as they did not damage anything. All they had to offer was knowledge, because not a single item preserved function. One more thing, the monks did not understand the knowledge in the books they preserved. They treated them like holy materials to be read, copied, and cared for, but not acted upon. Think of the book, A Canticle for Lebowitz by Walter M. Miller, which was the inspiration for the Abbey. So the Abbey is kind of like the anti-Brotherhood of Steel. I would have loved to see a storyline where the Brotherhood finds out about the Abbey and attacks it. No taking over, just taking the tech and destroying the monks because they think they don't deserve to have this tech, and they find out that the tech is damaged beyond repair. Hear me out. Let's say the Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 2 were still in a dire situation, but they had a bit more members left, and the Abbey was in the game. I would have made a storyline where the Brotherhood of Steel are desperate and hear about this place and think it has the answer to their problems. They think the tech is active, and the books will help them build weapons to defeat the Enclave on their own, so they get spies in there and they try taking it over. Or some other stuff. There could have been different situations and different outcomes. Man, I wish a lot of this stuff was added in there. Oh well, on to the next piece of cut content. Unlike TV Town, the next piece of cut content was actually pretty fleshed out. The Environmental Protection Agency. The best way I can describe this is, it's a combination of different trials you have to do. Puzzles, trials and tribulations, whatever you want to call it. Seriously, it's a weird place. Right at the gate, before you even open the door, you see a jungle filled with EPA plants, and those fuckers can take 2 or 3 Gauss rifle shots. Tough little motherfuckers. But if you've played this area, you might catch some things that may have been cut from Fallout 2, but they might have made their debut somewhere else. Remember the smart little toaster? Doesn't it remind you of a toaster you see in New Vegas? Not saying they are the same ones, but it's pretty similar. The EPA is filled with different areas. You'll have to fight, deal with holograms, solve their issues, do puzzles, and just go through a lot of stuff if you want to see how deep this place goes. If you use the restoration mod, the solar scorcher will be here instead of a certain random encounter. And even though this was cut, it seems like it was close to being finished. There's a lot you can do in this area, and I did most of the levels on my last playthrough. I was surprised. Unfortunately, I have a bad habit of deleting games once I beat them, even though I will play this again in the future. So for this playthrough, I gotta get my repair skill up before I go through it again, but I already know what's in it. I recommend checking it out. Just take a look at this design document from the Fallout Bible. They put a lot of effort into it. I guess they didn't have any time to polish it. I won't spoil this area because I feel every classic Fallout fan should at least go through these levels once, although I don't blame you if you don't want to do it again. Now this one, I had to look it up several times. It's hard to look up cut content because unless you hear it from a person that worked on the game or you read a design document, it can be hard to verify, but I actually found out about the Rainbow Confederation a week ago. The Rainbow Confederation was supposed to be a group in Fallout 2 that were for LGBT rights, and some people went deep into the scripts to find some dialogue, and let me repeat some of that. Gay pride, down with heteros, queer, retreat to the love shack, queen, and more. Now I don't know why this was cut. With all the fucked up humor in Fallout 2, I think this would be funny to put in. I don't think they took it out because of political correctness. I know someone is going to comment that, but no, I don't believe that shit. Maybe they just found it tacky or something. I actually think it's pretty funny. Imagine encounters with soldiers that have the little rainbow flags on their vest or armor or whatever. It would make sense in Fallout. I know some people are going to be like, who would care about someone's sexual orientation in a wasteland? But I got 3 words. Brotherhood is steel. I mean, this would be the perfect time for the Rainbow Confederation to strike the BOS. And if they were in the game, I would imagine you have the option to help them or side with the BOS. Man, if they would have put some of this cut content in the game, the BOS would have been fucked. I mean, the Enclave don't like them. The Rainbow Confederation obviously would hate them. And the monks from the Abbey would probably fight back if the BOS tried taking their books. Don't get it wrong, a lot of monks are vicious if they want to be, and they can fuck people up. I personally volunteer to lead the Rainbow Confederation if we ever get nuked. I gotta have some place to spread my love of yaoi, cross-dressers, and femme guys. I need my own area, and I need my sanctuary, so I will lead the Rainbow Confederation if we ever turn into a wasteland. I think this would have been a great opportunity to put some irony in the game or something. Have some militant guy in there that screams down with heteros, and you can just tell him, well, wait a minute, you're saying down with heteros and you're attacking the BOS because they're not fond of homosexuals. Just chillax. Be for LGBT rights and fuck up the Brotherhood of Steel and take their technology, but don't go all crazy on straight people. Something like that. There could have been different options. And there's always going to be that one motherfucker that's going to bitch. I know, because it says down with heteros. Look, Interplay wasn't anti-fucking straight people, okay? This is just something funny. So to that one person out there that's going to try to take this fucking seriously, don't. And trust me, take it from someone that has been called so much shit on Twitter. I've been called degenerate, an animal, faggot, a download nigga, fruitcake, whatever. I heard it all and it don't bother me. I just spam them with gay shit until they leave me alone and stop fucking filling in my damn inbox. And actually, I spam them with a lot of gay shit after that too. It's pretty funny. Yeah, now that I think about it, I would be the perfect leader for the Rainbow Confederation. Make sure to vote for me if I ever see you in the wasteland. Thank you for watching. There's a lot more cut content, just small minor things that they didn't put in. I will leave a link to the description. I just wanted to talk about stuff that I found interesting. So thank you for watching and have a great day.